Hi guys, I just wanted to share with you about an incredible emotional release that I just had from my chiropractic adjustment. You know, I went through a lot of stuff this weekend and hit a couple of my, what we know as terror barriers. But it was my stuff. It was my old outdated belief systems that came up to be healed. And one of them was not really feeling like I've been heard or listened to. And there were several times that presented itself this weekend where I would start to say something and then maybe only the first word or the first phrase was heard, but not the story. So in other words, like the pre-frame was heard, but not the body and the context. And that creates a lot of frustration for me. And it happened at least 2 or 3 times this weekend. And that's something that's happened in my life. So yes, that's my stuff. And it came up to be healed. I recognize it, I acknowledge it, and then I'm doing my work. So the universe starts to present itself and says, all right, if you want the lesson, we're going to give you the lesson. So when it came my turn to talk on Sunday, and I had listened actively to everybody else's speech, and it was wonderful. But then when I got up to talk, half the room got up to leave. And I was kind of like, oh dear God, my tribe just left me. That was really hard. And I understand that there were planes to catch and travel accommodations. I get that. But for me, it just brought up that fear of abandonment and not feeling supported and not feeling heard and not really listened to. And it was a beautiful experience, although it felt badly at the time, but it brought up a lot of stuff for me to be able to deal with. And just to kind of nail it home a little bit more, the next day I just went out to lunch with my daughter and I ordered a half of a sandwich. And what I got was a quarter of a sandwich. And I got so mad. So I called the manager over and I'm like, what do I need to say and do to say I want a half of sandwich? Not half of a half, not a whole, but half a sandwich. What am I doing wrong? Why am I not able to communicate? And it really comes back to the other person wasn't listening. And that was a hard thing to accept, not feeling like I was heard or listened to. So I brought this to my therapist, as I always do on Tuesdays. I go see my therapist to work on the emotional stuff, and then I go see my chiropractor to work on the physical stuff. But we're not compartmentalized that way. The physical really does manifest in the emotional, and the emotional really does manifest in the physical. So I was able to bring up that old belief system and change it. We did this through hypnosis. And then I went to go see my chiropractor, and let me tell you, I had probably the most amazing physical release. We were able to release things in my back and in my abdomen and in my hips, and so much more moved today because I got that emotional component finally taken care of so that the healing could begin on the physical level. So I just kind of wanted to let you know that, you know, you never really know what another person is going through. So make sure that you listen, not just to the first part of what people say, but to the whole thing. And I hope that you've listened to this whole thing. It's not about placing blame or saying you didn't listen to me. No, none of that. It's about me having my experience and being able to release. And I want to thank you, each and every one of you. I want to thank you for helping me to bring that up so that it could be healed. I did enjoy the weekend. I really did. And I probably got more out of it than most people did because I was working on myself. So I want to be able to thank you guys for